morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Today is going to be a continuation of our Grant Cardone training. And since I just got back from our 10X, we just got back from our 10X Mastermind training over in Florida. That was amazing, guys, and I learned a lot about the program that we're actually taking right now. This program that he's created, obviously you guys see we've been doing this now for a few months, is a really in-depth program that he sells to corporations for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, along with a coach. So this is really top-notch training that you guys are getting here. So I know sometimes it can get a little bit, how would I say, a little bit boring that we're just sitting here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna break up these trainings into chunks of maybe 30 minutes to maybe 1 hour, and then we're gonna stop and we're gonna talk. And we're gonna discuss what we've learned so far, and then we'll continue with the next segment. We'll stop, we'll discuss, we'll talk, and then we'll continue on like that. Because I think that'll be more engaging for you guys. It'll help you guys from falling asleep. And I'm glad we're doing this in the morning too, because since we're doing it in the morning, I have a little bit more energy. You know, because this stuff is, you know, obviously there's a lot to take in, but take good notes. You have to keep taking these notes. If not, you guys are not going to retain anything. I learned over the few weeks that I was away that the human mind pretty much will forget everything that they listen to. But if you write it down, you can recall up to 80% of what you learned. So take down anything that's important to you, anything you want to implement, and make it a to-do list, make it a task. So if there was something there like, oh my God, that's such a great idea, I'm going to do that, then write it down and put it down and find time to implement that. All right, so we're going to jump into our training. Thank you guys for being here. This Grant Cardone stuff is really good. You guys are learning from one of the best sales coaches in the world who charges an obscene amount of money. And now I remember why we didn't get it sooner, because it really is crazy expensive, but we got it as a part of a package. So please guys enjoy and take as many notes as you can. Grant was talking a lot about leads and a lot of statistics. Did you guys recall, did anyone take down on their notes what percentage of leads never convert? Did you guys write that down? 79. What is it, 79, right?
Oh, 79.
73? Oh, I thought I heard him say 79. 73.
Well, no, it's 79 actually that
Yes.
all leads never converted. It's 73 where the buyers are not ready.
Oh, 73% of buyers are not ready, but 79% of
And
leads never convert.
50% say that they're ready, but they're really not ready.
Okay,
Correct.
so either way, these are important statistics for you guys to recall. 79% of leads never convert, 73% of buyers say or leads say they're not ready. So these are great statistics for you guys to start memorizing, because there's a lot of money we're leaving on the table. There's a lot of people that we're not following through with. So this is something that I'm definitely going to like start really taking a hold of, because I can't understand how much I'm going to say how many people we're leaving unattended, how many leads are going unnurtured. That's incredible. You know, the money that we spend on advertising. Just imagine, you know, for every one deal you close, there's probably 3 deals you didn't, because 70-something% of them are going unnurtured. So that's crazy. All right, next is what percentage of companies agree that they don't nurture their leads? Well, when 65%. I say, yeah, 65%. You can apply this to also real estate agents. It has to be, one thing about statistics is pretty much it's universal. So whether you're comparing companies to real estate agents to, you know, mom and pops or big companies, it's probably going to be very, very similar. So 65% of companies or real estate agents or salespeople admit that they don't nurture their leads. So this is something that is definitely a problem with a lot of people. In this office, I know we have a lot of people who pound the phones, who do a lot of like door knocking, but all of that, guys, is how would I say? I don't want to say pointless, but it's not the both sides of the coin. It's just one piece of it. With the nurturing and the follow-up is really where it gets you to where you need to be. Most people that meet you for the first time are going to say, I don't know this person, you frankly scared me, you caught me off guard, I'm not really trusting you. But by the time you've reached out to them so many times, you start to hear like, wow, you're really serious about your business. Wow, you really care. You're really nurturing this. You know, this must mean a lot to you. And then a person starts to think, hey, if I want to work with someone, it's going to be someone who's called me this many times or sent me this many follow-ups. So definitely something you guys want to get in the habit of. Okay, so people that are followed up with in the first hour are how many times more likely to work with you? Do you guys take that out?
2%.
So 7% more likely to work with you if you follow up with them within the first hour. So if you guys get a lead on Zillow, on Facebook, anywhere, if you follow up with them within that first hour, they're 7 times more likely to work with you. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have ever gotten a lead that appeared to be really hot and you follow up with them the next day and you can't get a hold of them for anything. It's because they've already gotten probably 5 or 6 agents calling them and they're like, oh my God, another unknown phone number. I don't want to talk to this person. It's going to be more of the same. And meanwhile, you know that you have a lot of value to add, but if you would have gotten to them first, you probably would have been able to do that. Okay, what percentage of salespeople never follow up? This is sad.
65%.
I think I got 48% of salespeople never follow up. Anyone else get that?
They're lying.
It's probably more.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's probably closer to what Jen said.
That's
But let's just say about half of salespeople never follow up. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Okay, 25% of salespeople make 2 calls and then stop. So that's pretty bad as well. I mean, if you're gonna make 2 calls, you might as well make 10 calls or make as many as you want, because why stop at 2? Unless someone specifically told you, listen, if you call me again, I'm gonna report you to whatever bureau. Like, then obviously you would want to stop with that person. But if the person just keeps telling you, you know what, I haven't gotten a chance to talk to my wife, or you know what, after in the spring, or let me check in with the kids and see what they have in mind. Like, if it's that, then yeah, continue following up with them. Even if you're thinking to yourself, man, this person just keeps giving me these, these runarounds, and that's okay. And you might get frustrated, but one day you're gonna catch them on that, in that mood or in that feeling that, look, I gotta get rid of this house, or I gotta buy a house now, and it's all gonna be worthwhile. So follow-ups may seem to you guys like it's not very productive, but believe me, your percentages dramatically increase after the 6th call. All right, now most sales are made between the 5th and the 12th contact. How many of you guys write that down? Right?
Yes.
That's important. That's really important, because if you're gonna really start to convert these leads, it's not gonna be on the first time around. Anything that's worth it, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna take you some follow-up, some consistency. So keep that in mind. Okay, what percentage of contacts will convert higher if they receive a text message during the phone call?
40%.
40%. Okay, who has their resume, who has a CMA ready to go while they're on the phone with a contact? Does anyone have that? All right, one trick of prospecting is that you need to have something of value ready to go as soon as you're on the phone. So if you haven't done your real estate resume yet, you need to do that this week. I've been telling you guys this for probably years. Do your real estate resume, make sure that's tight, make sure it's in your drive, that way you can text somebody a link to your resume, because you're literally not gonna send a picture of your resume that's gonna look really horrible. So you send a link to your resume, and then while you're on the phone with them, I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, but you can run a CMA on conversion, you can run a CMA on RPR, you can run a CMA pretty much anywhere nowadays. So all you need to do that is download that CMA while you're on the phone with them. This literally takes minutes. While you're on the phone with them, you can start running a CMA. The minute you start getting into a meaningful conversation, that could be downloaded and then saved to your drive, and then again sent as a link while you're on the phone with them. Because texting them your contact information, that's cool, but that's not really something of value that they're gonna really use. Now imagine if you also sent them a link to your website. Now once they're into your website, they're gonna be probably asked to create an account if you're using the conversion one, and now you've got them in there for life. Now once you got them in there, if you don't manually put them in there yourself, if they choose to be a part of your, how would I say, your follow-up campaigns, but they don't know they're gonna get follow-ups, now you can really start to give them the value that you want to give them. So by using drip campaigns on conversion, you can have as many meaningful conversations via text and email as you want. And now, some of you guys may think like, oh, I've tried that, it doesn't really work. I will literally open up my email right now and show you the people who are saying, yes, I want to sell my house now, on the 7th contact. And I'm going to open that in a few minutes so you guys can see. Okay, leads sent 3 or more text messages are 328% higher to convert. That's a huge number. That's really big. Did you guys know what the average open rate for a text message is? I know Derek knows. Does anyone else know? It's 98%. So if you're sending text messages, they're seen, guys. They're seen, and no one is ignoring their text messages. Back in the day, email used to be like that, but now people get so much junk email that they hardly open any emails, and they have a lot of filters on their email that just go straight to spam. But if you guys are using both, utilizing text and email, you're gonna go a lot further. So just so you guys know I'm not full of it, I'm gonna show you that I received not 1, but 3 responses from the last time I sent out a drip campaign. And this is the beauty of drip campaigns. You set it and forget it. You do it once. You may take, I don't care if you take an entire day of your life setting up your drip campaigns, because they're going to eventually work for you for as long as you want. So until you tweak them again. Okay. I'll make this a little bigger for you guys so you guys can see. And I'm gonna show you it's not all roses too. It could be, you know, pretty disappointing. All right, so here's a person that wrote me back, I'm not interested, okay? So the message that went out to her automatically said, hey Suzanne, a while back I asked if you would consider selling your home. I'm currently working with buyers and investors in your town. Would you be open to reviewing a possible offer? All right, she said no. John says, Louis, you sir are full of shit. In September, you spammed me and said it was a fourth text. Now you're being the second and the seventh text, you know, literally spamming scumbags go. All right, good. Now this could have demoralized me and I could have stopped, right? And by the way, I didn't remove him. He's still there. I'm gonna get my next one.
I love it.
The next person says, I am not Sandra, but Bernard. I had the opportunity to know Sandra, but are we speaking of the same person? We are open to any offer, but the apartment is not in condition right now, as we try to decrease a little bit of content, but we are open to anything. So look, that's a really good lead, right? Listen to this next person. Let me see. Okay, I sent that to Petros. Jackie, yes, as a matter of fact, I would. You have my contact number, correct? Looking forward to hearing from you. And guys, we're talking about seller leads here. We're not talking about buyers that are, you know, wishy-washy.
Really.
Hi, the house is off market, thanks. Dear Louis, I have not decided yet on selling my house and thus would only consider an exceptionally good offer. Please tell me what price you have in mind. So these are all like really good leads that I need to nurture, I need to follow up on. So out of the 4 messages I got back, 2 of them seem like, one of them seems really good, the other one seems maybe, and the third one seems like I gotta really kind of use my sales persuasion on them. But I'm just explaining to you guys that if it wasn't for automation, I wouldn't be doing these follow-ups, you know, and if you're not following up, then you guys are leaving way too much on the table. So if you guys have not taken the time yet to sit with me, get some of my drip campaigns that I can share with you, and then maybe tweak them a little bit to the way you guys talk, and then create some for your friends and family, because you need to have a drip campaign for your friends and family, because I guarantee you, if you're new in this business, within the next 12 months, one of your friends or family is going to sell or buy a house without you. And if you don't have them in your drip campaigns, then that's your fault, because you're not following up with them. The other thing too is that if you're going to start really taking this seriously, you need to start categorizing people into different drip campaigns. You're going to have your friends and family. You're going to have buyers, right? It's not just regular buyers. You're going to have buyers, then you're going to have investors. Those are 2 separate campaigns. Then you're going to have for sale by owners. And then you're going to have expired. And then you're going to have people that are distressed. And then you're going to have people who maybe just lost a family member, they inherited the house. So one drip campaign is not a one-size-fits-all. So that's why I'm saying, guys, I don't care if it takes you an entire day for you guys to really make your drip campaigns tight. You guys got to spend that time. I have trainings on how to create a drip campaign. Conversion has trainings on how to create drip campaigns. If anybody wants to get that video, I'll send it out to everyone today after today's training. Yes, sir?
I think it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's on my YouTube channel. But I will share that with everyone so you guys can start doing that. But I'm telling you guys, if you take anything away from today's class, is the follow-up is important, but you don't have to do it all yourself. Yes, you do have to make periodic phone calls yourself, because there isn't anything that does that yet, but you will have to make that phone call every so often, but you don't have to nurture them in between. Like these people that I'm going to call here, or I'm going to have Petros call here, I would have probably forgot to follow up with them by text or email, but it did it, so now we have meaningful follow-ups. Now we know that we're calling warm leads. We're not calling just people out of a phone book. Okay? You guys get it? Good idea? All right. Let's continue with our training. Right? So a CRM back then is not what a CRM is today. All those issues that CRMs probably were played with back then are something that, you know, they don't even worry about anymore because it's part of the system. So what that means is that automating your CRM is very simple. It's as simple as you want it to be. It's not going to come with a set of instructions. You do have to do some research. But luckily for you guys, you work at Culture Estate, so we've taken care of all of that already. We have all the implementations for you. So you don't have to go one by one with your contacts from your phone and put them into conversion. Yes, that is the way that you're probably being told that you have to do it, but it's not the way that we do it. So the way we could do it now is we can take every single contact in your phone. Let's just say you have 1,000 contacts in your phone. We can show you how we can take those contacts, import them into a spreadsheet, and then have that spreadsheet automatically transfer that data to conversion. Now you have your 1,000 people that are in your sphere of influence assigned drip campaigns now all of a sudden. Now, if that's not automation and if that's not leveraging your time, I don't know what is. So I've done that. Also, if you guys are getting Zillow leads, if you guys are getting Facebook leads, you guys are getting leads from anywhere, we can make those leads go in directly to your CRM. So that means that from the moment a client or a lead comes into your system and says, I want to request more information on this home, the system will automatically, that moment, within those 60 seconds, send them an email saying, I've received your request. I'll be in contact with you momentarily. By the way, while I have you on the phone, are you looking to buy in the next 30, 60, or 90 days? Wow. Look, you're already you're conversing with them. You're asking them a real question that you would want to know. And if somebody who texts you back right away says, yeah, I want to buy within the next 60 days, whatever I'm doing, I'm calling that person right now. So there's a lot of ways to automate your CRM. Your CRM doesn't have to be, that task that you have to do at the end of the day or in the beginning of the day. Our CRM can literally do everything for you. You can check your emails from conversion. You can do everything really from conversion. You can set up your marketing. You can send out text messages. You can do a lot of things from there. Now, it has its limitations, like every CRM does, but we do have ways to go around it. So if you guys don't understand conversion that well, you haven't spent that much time on it, you need to start spending some time with it because it will take you to the next level. Doing everything the old-fashioned way with pens and pads is good temporarily, but if you want to scale your business, you got to really start looking at tools. All right, so that's number one. I want to talk to you guys about including follow-up on your calendar. Okay, so every agent that's sat with me, who's done their onboarding with me, knows that one of the most important things that I do with you guys is I map out your business plan. What I call your business plan is your schedule, because there shouldn't be any difference between your schedule and your business plan. They should be one. Because if you have a business plan that's not incorporated into your schedule, you're never going to accomplish the things on your business plan. So what we do is we create things that you should be doing throughout the day. One of those things is your follow-up. Follow-up is crucial. Right after the most important thing of the day, which is prospecting, the next thing is follow-up. So if anyone hasn't done that yet, I just sent out a link to everyone in the office for an onboarding training that I'm doing for all of my new agents that includes preparing your calendar and doing basic things like that. Even if you're not a new agent and you haven't done this or you want a refresher on it, you're welcome to come. I have a few new agents that I have to walk through that process. So we're going to do that 12 o'clock on Wednesday. Okay, so that's important. Okay, scripts. You guys know that I always tell you that no script is the best script. Yes, that's true, but you do have to know what to say when you make the phone call, when you first make that initial call, right? And it's gonna have to sound like yourself. It can't sound like someone else because you're gonna sound uncomfortable saying it. So what I suggest is that you guys take a look at all the scripts we have. We have scripts on Mojo. You guys can literally just go on Mojo and just look at the scripts that are on there. That's one resource. I'm gonna email you guys all of Grant Cardone's scripts, which I have, the millions over the phone scripts that he has, and we also have Tom Ferry's scripts, Sales Edge. So we have all those scripts. I'll send them to everyone today. If you guys can't get any good scripts from there, I'm sorry, I just don't think that it'll ever be a script that'll make you successful. Any script that you say has to come from you, has to come from your heart, has to come from the way that you normally speak, and then you can take it to the next level, all right? So what I mean by that is, okay, pick a script that you say, oh, this sounds pretty easy for me to memorize. This sounds pretty much like what I would say. And then practice it till like it really just becomes second nature. And then go with a partner and start doing some role play. And then practice it some more. And then you just keep using it until before you know it, you're a savage on the phone. And then people just start telling you yes. People start communicating with you. But if you're uncertain about what to say, then people are not going to want to work with you. It's just annoying because people are busy. They don't want to be troubled with someone who doesn't know what they want. You have to know what you want to say. Then people will start to convert better. All right. Next thing I'll talk to you guys is, oh yeah, some people get stuck on, I don't want to make the calls because I'm not ready yet. Like no one's ever ready. No one's 100% ready. Like when you start calling people, you're never going to be ready. And once you master calling buyers, then you're going to talk yourself out of calling sellers because you're going to say, oh no, sellers are a different breed. They're going to be tough on me. No, there is no difference. There's no difference. Well, I'm only going to call people that are distressed because, for sale by owners are too hard. They're not. Everything is just getting used to it. It's just a new set of dialogue, new set of rebuttals, new set of everything. But at the end of the day, it's all about the value you bring to that individual. Yes, you do have to do some role play. It's not going to come with, hey, let's role play with the person on the phone. that could be giving me a listing where I could make 20 grand. You don't want to role play with that person. You want to sell that person. You want to role play with your colleagues. You want to role play with your husband, your wife. You want to role play with anyone who will listen to you. You want to role play with yourself in the mirror. And as long as you're not role playing with that person on the phone, but the minute you have given yourself enough, like, all right, I've got some ammunition, make the call. You're never going to be perfect. You're never going to sound like Petros. You're never going to sound like me. You're never going to sound like Alejandro. You're going to sound like yourself. And we never give ourselves enough credit. A lot of times I hear people that sound great on the phone and they're like, oh, you know what, I'm kind of scared to call. And I just think to myself, I'm like, if you knew what you sounded like, you sound awesome, you sound amazing. Some people have that gift. Their tonality's on point. Their confidence is on point. But the minute you tell them, to make a phone call, they forget their own names. Like, you guys have to get over that. There's no room for that in sales. You guys are going to have to give yourselves enough credit, you have to believe in yourself enough to just make those initial calls. And then after your first dialing session of an hour, you're going to see that people aren't as mean as you thought they were going to be. You're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Next person, oh, that wasn't that bad. Third person might curse you out. Oh, well, big deal, no worries. And you keep going. If it was really easy, guys, I'm telling you, this business would have a lot more people in it. It's difficult for a reason. You guys are going to make money with this, but you got to be committed to getting uncomfortable. That is one thing you guys will definitely have to get used to. Not making enough phone calls. Chimmy, I'm going to bring you up as an example. I hope you don't mind, all right? I'm not going to embarrass you or anything. So when Chimmy first started, he started making calls, and he said to me one day, Louis, he's like, I'm calling, but it's not working. I was like, well, how long have you been calling for? He's like, I've been calling just this month. I said, you haven't been calling enough. He's like, when I first started prospecting, guys, I made calls for an entire month without one appointment. And I just kept doing it because I knew that every person I researched on YouTube, every person from California, from Texas, that was a top producer closing 500 deals a year, they all prospected every single day. So I said, if they're making videos about this is how they were successful, I'm not going to stop. And then I got my first appointment, and then I got my second appointment, but it all just fell into place after I called enough. And what is enough? Enough is different for everybody. Enough could be the first phone call like it was for Lynn Bances, or enough could be hundreds of phone calls like it was for me before I got comfortable with my dialogue. So everyone's going to be different. Just because some people have results sooner than others doesn't mean that, look, I suck at it, I'm not going to do that, I'd rather just send out postcards. That's not a way of getting over a hump, guys. If it's hard, just push harder. It's just like he used a metaphor with a child walking. You think the child thought to himself, this walking stuff is pretty difficult, I'm just going to continue crawling my whole life. They don't care that they're going to fall on their face. They don't care that they're going to, hurt their butt every single time they try. You guys just got to keep trying. You got to keep doing it. You're going to have to make prospecting like walking, where there is no alternative. You guys are not going to keep crawling, waiting for things to happen to you or deals to come to you. You guys have to go out there and make it happen. So equate that to a child walking, or equate it to a child going to first grade. How many times are they going to go through first grade until they get to second? You guys are ultimately have to get there. All right. So that's something that really hit me with what Grant said. Next thing. First 60 seconds, right? So we talked about the first 60 seconds, how important it is to get in contact with someone. So if you automate your CRM to text message or email someone from the moment they contact you, that's going to count as the first 60 seconds, right? So we'll cover that stuff in future trainings. I've done these videos before, but we'll do a training one day where it's based on contacting your client within the first 60 seconds. We'll make it a thing. We'll do that in the future. Leaving a message, right? Okay, a lot of you guys make mojo calls, right? I know a lot of you do, right? Okay, and you all have a message on there that drops whenever you're leaving a voicemail, correct? All right. How many of you guys have had someone else review your message to see if it sucks? Because it might suck. You might think it was good, and you might think like, oh, you know what, I left my name and number, but you may sound dead, or you may just not be intriguing the person enough. What if you revised it and said, hey, what if it said like, hey, this is Derek, or hey, this is Louis, you know what, I've got some incredible news for you, just give me a call back as soon as you can, 908-494-5438. Imagine if you did that, instead of just saying, hey, this is Louis with Culture Estate, please give me a call back, and you get, like, that's a salesperson, they're like, oh my god, I gotta call back a salesperson, hell no, I'm good, if you just maybe left your name and maybe left something as a cliffhanger, maybe that'll convert better. I don't know, because I haven't tested it. You guys have to start looking where in your tool belt of arsenal of tools that you have, where can you improve? And I think that the voicemail is a big improvement for all of us, because if we're just leaving generic voicemails, we're not going to get callbacks. We're not. So make sure that you review with someone and see what you can improve on. All right. I think that's it. Anyone else get something from this last segment that we just did? What do you guys want to share? someone. Yes, Esther?
I thought something was pretty neat. Kind of reminded me of when Jen and I went door knocking.
Yeah.
And we met people that were like, okay, we're not interested.
Yes.
And we gave them our flyers, and instead of we said, what did we say? We pretty much was like, oh, if you know anybody, send them our way.
Mm-hmm.
So Grant Cardone's way of saying it, like, oh, who do you know that will benefit our services is definitely a better way of raising that question.
Yes, because in one way you're leaving it open-ended when you're saying, hey, if you know anyone, give them our information. The other way he phrased it is you're asking them for a response on the spot, right? And people will give you that, because I'll be honest with you, a lot of times people may just want to get you out of their face, you know, so they'll give you, you know, they'll throw a grenade to someone else and say, you know, you deal with the salesperson. Or they might genuinely want to help you because they see you out there hustling in the cold, and they might say, you know what, you guys look like you guys are really serious about your business. Let me give you my cousin who's looking for a house. So that's a big takeaway. Just changing that sentence a little bit and work a lot better. Derek?
Jumped weird because I was about to say something about referrals too.
Yeah.
Something that I don't do until we talk all the time. You should say this at the end of a phone call.
Yeah.
Is just like asking for like what she said, like who you know that's on your sound or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Something that I need to do more of.
Okay. You guys know that one of our policies early on in the office was that at every closing, you guys should be getting a review, right? You guys know how important reviews are. You guys can build your whole career in reviews. How many of you guys are taking time to ask for a referral as well from after that review? If they're so happy that they're leaving you this you know, gleaming review, that's the perfect time to ask them for a referral. Because believe it or not, people forget. They may want it, and their intentions may be to refer you. And if they don't have a referral, guys, send them off with a bunch of your business cards and say, look, can you just hand these out to people in your office? Can you hand these out to people at your job? Can you give these to your family members that you're gonna help you move, or whoever? You know, just give them a task that your chances are much higher of getting a referral that way than if you just stay quiet and hope for the best and maybe send them a thank you card at closing. So definitely ask for that referral if you're not. So another thing you guys can do that we're gonna start implementing here in the office is the fact that you guys can create drip campaigns for future clients, right? So why not create your drip campaign for your closed clients? So imagine you close somebody today, put them on a different drip campaign that follows up with them every few weeks, every few months, asking them consistently for referrals, giving them value to, you know, explaining to them what's new in the market. So if you guys haven't done this yet, it's important to do that. Conversion allows you to put them on monthly newsletters too. You know, monthly newsletter may add a little value to them because it's generic in nature, but it'll at least keep you on top of mind. So that's something that you guys can take advantage of. So if you haven't done that yet, there's a million things you guys can do with just the resources you have now. You know, instead of reinventing the wheel, I got an email over the weekend from one of my agents who wants me to give him a IDX feed for a CRM. But meanwhile, he has conversion. So I'm gonna let him sweat it out for 30 days and let him figure out that what he's doing is completely backwards because he already has everything he needs, just so he can learn. You know, this is things that I'm not gonna say, look, one is better than the other, but I'll let him try, and if it's better, then great. You know, it's better. But I think that a lot of times people just get frustrated and they start looking for more things than just looking in your own backyard, and you guys already have everything you need. I'll tell you right now, guys, you guys are very, very lucky. You guys are very blessed. When I started in this industry, and every company I've worked with after that, we have never had the tools that I give you guys, and we have never had unlimited seller leads. You guys have the ability to call hundreds of people every day that are new prospects every single day. So I want to see you guys start taking advantage of this. You know, there's between LandVoice and another system we're going to be picking up this week, you guys have unlimited access. And I know that I do this because, you know, I know that you guys have a license, and you know, just getting a license doesn't mean that you automatically made it and you have money to blow. So we invest, you know, for the office for you guys to take advantage of these things. So I can see you guys build your careers just off the back of what we give you, and this is great stuff. I'm telling you, I research things before I give it to you guys. I don't just buy the first thing I find. I make sure that it's worth it. All right. Anyone else want to add to this? If not, we'll jump back into a couple more videos. All right. So let's go back to Grant. We'll go. Okay, there's 3 questions on this one I wanted to talk about. Why don't people buy? So let me ask you guys this first question. Which question do you ask to find out about being on the right product? So let's just say that you guys are talking to a buyer and you don't know what kind of a product would be the house, right? You may want a condo, they may want a single family, you want a multi-family, they might want distressed property, you may want luxury property. So which one of these questions would apply best? Would you consider a product below this one, which is I guess below the price? Would you consider one if it were a little more or a little less money? Would you consider a product above this one, or all the above? Which question do you think would be right? I mean, answer would be right.
Was it B?
B? Okay, anyone else? Oh man, I think the answer to that one was B. All right, next question. What does Grant suggest that you do with the reasons why customers don't buy? Write them down, memorize them, and check off during the day when they're happening. That's A. B, just make a mental note of them and contemplate the level of uncertainty that exists. That's B. C is only remember that the customer may not be the decision maker and that they may not be ready to buy. That's C. And D, just remember that the customer never has enough information and may not be prepared to buy. That's D. Anyone?
A.
A? That's correct. Good job, guys. You guys are paying attention. Okay. What is the number one reason people don't buy? Is it A, they're not the decision maker? B, they don't disclose information due to personal issues? C, they're not qualified? Or D, they're not ready? Which one is the number one reason?
I think the first one was they're not
Qualified.
C, yeah.
Which one? Guys, shout it out.
C.
C? Let's go with C. Okay, good job. All right, awesome. All right, I wanted to cover that one really quick. See if I can. No, I don't want the test. I want the video again. This thing confuses me so much I can never find where we left off. Not organized, some referrals. It was the one after this, right? Mistakes with following. Oh, why don't people buy? I'm trying to play this video. Again. Can we play the video again?
You have to take the test.
We did
They'll
that.
ask you the question again, because you missed one, remember?
We missed
You
one.
ran out of time. So they're gonna,
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it is?
yeah.
Okay. Do you guys know the answer to number one? Which question do you ask to find out about being on the right product? Would you consider a product below this one? Would you consider one if it was a little more or a little less money? Would you consider a product above this one or all the above?
D.
D.
D, right?
B.
B? Good job, guys. D. Okay. Alright, and then we did this already, right?
Yeah, you have to do it again.
Which one was the answer to this?
A.
A?
Yep.
Alright. And
C.
then C, right?
C.
I know, we learned that.
Good job.
Woohoo.
Because I want to show you guys the video again, because I want to pull up. How do we go back to the video? Let me see. Chapter menu.
Yeah.
Complete. If I go to
See, it'll tell
restart.
you
Okay,
complete,
good.
you take the test.
Why don't people buy from you? Why from you? Why does somebody hit your website?
Can I fast forward this?
Phone your company.
Oh, he's
Drive all the
You
way to
can't
your
cheat.
retail showroom and and then not
This is not like
buy.
the continuing education.
Well, one reason could be this, and you.
All right, well, never mind. He's a smart cookie, this guy.
Well, it's only 2
It's
minutes,
only 3
right?
minutes long.
Yeah, so I wanted
Need to
to
know what they all are.
explain
Many times the customer won't tell you, and/or they don't even know. Number one, they're not qualified. They are not qualified to buy your product right now and will not tell you, can't tell you. Number two, they can't tell you why they won't buy right now. Maybe there's something going on personally that they just can't disclose to you. Number three, they're not a decision maker. Maybe as we go through these, you write them down, memorize them, and start checking off during the day when they're happening. Number three, they're not a decision maker. They are not the decision maker. Look, you could have combinations of these affect you. They're not a decision maker and can't tell you they're not the decision maker. I'm sure you've had that happen. Number four, they're not ready. They're telling you they're ready. They're telling you they're going to do something, but they're not ready. I know people that bargain hunt constantly. And they're going to tell you, I'm ready to do this right now. And the truth is they're not. They're just using that as a negotiating strategy to see what their deal would be if they were ready. Number five, they don't have enough information. There's not yet enough information for them to make a decision, so they can't. Now they've become a follow-up. Don't lump them together with the first four, or you're going to be missing strategies to follow up people that don't have just enough information. Number six, just not prepared to buy. This could be a financial situation, could be information. It could be, I just don't have enough personal certainty within myself to buy. Maybe there's so much uncertainty going on in the world right now that emotionally I'm out of whack so much. I don't know, maybe the stars and the moon aren't lined up. They're just not prepared to do it. Number seven, big reason, okay, on wrong product. Particularly when you have physical products, and I wouldn't say just physical, tangible or even intangible, you want to always check, are we on the right product? Would you consider another product? Would you consider the one above this, below this? Would you consider one if it was a little more money or a little less money? That way, in that way, we could find out that people would consider. If you consider a different piece of art, then you're on the wrong one. Number eight, you don't know what they need. You have no clue. What problem are they trying to solve? What is it they're trying to replace? What is it they're trying to avoid? What situation are they trying to get a handle on to make this decision and buy from you? Don't know what they need. If you don't know and they don't know, nobody's doing anything. Number nine, look, the timing could be wrong.
Okay, this is where I wanted to be. So, I hope you guys have never made the mistake or are not going to make the same mistake I made as a new agent. I would just yes everyone to death, and I would just work with anybody who wanted to work with me. Now, you should not be working with anyone who has not been qualified financially and emotionally. Right? For those of you who haven't heard me tell you guys, emotionally is probably more important than financially, because I would rather work with someone who's willing to fix their credit to be where they need to be to find a home or buy a home, who's ready to move right away, than someone who has an 800 credit score and says to me, I'll buy whenever I find a good deal, I'm in no rush, I still got my lease to run out, you know, I'm looking for the best deal possible, you know, I want to buy a house like my dad bought, you know, 80 years ago for this much price. I'd rather work with someone who's realistic and emotionally qualified and not just financially. But once you get to both, once you get someone who's emotionally and financially, then you guys have a hit. Like that's a good solid lead. Now, same principle applies to sellers. So I know you guys who work with sellers know that some sellers aren't qualified to buy for a few reasons too, because they're not emotionally ready, because they have too much emotional attachment to that house, and they want too much money for it because they value it differently than the market values it. Is that person qualified? Just because they sign your paperwork doesn't mean they're qualified. That just means that they're unrealistic and they're not ready to sell. So that's an unqualified seller. A seller who wants to sell for $300,000 and they owe $290 or $280, in their mind they might think, yeah, I'm going to walk away with maybe 10 or 20 grand. They're not financially able to sell. You know, they're going to have to go through different steps in order to be able to sell. You know, so you guys have to look at it on both ways. So make sure your clients are qualified in every aspect whatsoever. Because if not, you'll be wasting your time. Remember, we don't get paid by the hour. We get paid by the closing. So every time you work with someone, make sure there's someone that you're going to be able to help and bring to a closing. Next, they don't disclose information due to personal issues. If you ever had a client who doesn't want to tell you anything, stay away. Stay clear from those people. They're hiding something. You know, either they're laundering money or they don't have the credit or something's going on that you don't want to be a part of. Believe me, there's a lot of clients out there for you guys to work with. They're not the decision makers? Yes, this is a big one. If you guys ever show a house, make sure you have all the decision makers there. There's nothing worse than taking someone to show a house who has to check with the wife or husband. Make sure they're always together. If the wife says, I'm going to scout them first and then we'll bring my husband in when he's, ready, that's too much work for you guys. I mean, look, the wife's going to love this house and the husband's going to come and say it has no man cave, it has not this, it doesn't have that. And then before you know it, you're showing houses left and right. That's how you burn yourself out. You explain to them, even though it's more convenient for them to do it that way, it's less convenient for everyone involved because they're going to have to go out and look at something twice. It may cause an argument because the wife loves it, the husband hates it, that may cause friction. It's better for them to both see that house at the same time. So even though we know we're going to tell them this to make your life more tolerable as a real estate agent, you have to show them why it's more beneficial to them to always have those decision makers. Now on the listing side, when you go to a listing appointment, you want to make sure all the people who are going to make the decision are going to be there. They're going to be present. You don't want to go to a listing appointment where you have to sell yourself twice, because the more they have time to think about it, the more they're going to say no. So you make sure you always have the right people in the room. They're not ready. Some people aren't ready. If you can't force someone, you can't lead a horse to water. If you can't make a drink. That's the same principle with buyers and sellers. If they're not ready, but you want to be ready for them, you just wishful thinking. That's all that is. You can't. You got to really, like I said, emotionally qualify these people. If they're ready to buy, you ask them that uncomfortable question: will you buy in 30, 60 to 90 days? That sounds like you're giving them options. You're not being rude, but they're still going to tell you whether that's doable for them. If the seller says this is what should we sell our house for, and then you give them your realistic value, and they say that sounds good, that's a person who's ready. If the person says no, let's try 550 and it's really worth 500, that person's not ready yet. They're really not ready. They don't have the pain yet. There's no reason to pushing them along. So make sure you understand if your client is ready or not. They don't have enough information. That's true. Some people would rather rent than buy because they think that it's better for them, but they don't have enough information. You haven't shown them the cost advantages to buying as opposed to renting. You haven't spent enough time educating them. That's why I say nowadays you guys have to be more of an education source than you do a salesperson. So the more you educate someone, the more they're going to feel comfortable to make that leap. The more you can humanize the process and give them examples of other people and yourself, they're going to feel comfortable to do that. Same thing with a seller. If the seller's not going to sell it to you, they don't really know the market, because a lot of sellers are scared that they're going to leave money on the table. But if you do a really good job showing them the CMA and providing comparables, showing them other homes in the market that are on the market now that are going to be their competition, they might feel more comfortable to do that. They're not prepared to buy. Obviously, we spoke about that just now. The wrong product, yes, the wrong product, it does apply to us, believe it or not. So if you're showing a person, this has happened so many times, I'm not sure if anyone here can relate to this, but you're showing a client, William actually, perfect example. You're showing them a house. They want this house, they want this house, they want this house, they want this house, single family. And then they're buying a 2-family. Like, that's the craziest thing, right? Hopefully it's with you, but sometimes they'll buy with someone else. Or they only want homes in this area, only in this area, only in this area, and then they end up buying somewhere else. Like, maybe when you're not getting where you need to get with them, maybe you need to kind of reconvene and figure out, okay, let's look at other options, because it seems like every single family we look at in this town is either too small for you, too expensive for you, or we get beat out of every single time. William, did something happen like that to you recently?
Yeah.
What happened now?
With my own house.
With your own house, your mother, right?
Yeah.
His mother bought a house with someone else because he couldn't find her the right one. That's terrible, right? At least you got a referral on it, right?
Yeah, I got it.
You want to tell that story? That's pretty funny. We gotta make a video out of that one.
Yeah. So pretty much she was telling me, Williams, let's get a multi-family. So I was like, okay, so we have access to the GSMLS and
Yep.
all the MLSs, right? And I look and I get to the list, right? Because I don't really mind.
Yeah.
She's the one who is picky, so
Yeah.
so she's like, oh, I don't like this house because it doesn't have driveway. I want a house that has driveway, central air,
Yeah.
and for less than 300,000. And you can't find that
Multi-family?
like that
Yeah.
in Passaic County,
No.
right? So then one of her friends told her to call this agent, and then I went to PA that weekend,
Yeah.
and she
Oh, no.
went with the agent to look to other houses, and then she called me, and then she's like, oh, I found a house, and I'm like, with whom? And she's like, with this agent, and I'm like, really? For less than 300,000? And I'm like, wow, I want to see the house. And then when we went, she was like, oh, by the way, this is not multifamily, this is one family. I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
I've been looking for, I could have found this house a long time ago.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah, so that goes as a real life example, guys, that you really need to figure out if you've got the wrong product. You know, you learned a very valuable lesson that you'll never forget, will you?
Yeah, absolutely.
With your own mom, that you know you really need to open up
But you know,
options.
I learned so much
Yeah.
through that process.
You did.
You know?
People, you know, believe me, people like options.
Yeah.
All right. You don't know what they need. Obviously, you have to do a lot. Guys, before you go showing homes, I always tell people, have that meeting in-house. Like, first figure out what their real needs are. Even if you have to spend an hour or 2 hours with them in the office, it's much better than finding out on the road as you're spending hours driving. So always have that initial consultation with them, because it makes you look more professional. It shows you they're really interested and they're serious, and then you get a lot more information that you need. You know, you can't just base your search off a 30-minute conversation on the phone, you know, when you initially meet them, when half the time you're talking about pre-qualifications. So you should really spend the time in-house with them. Same thing with a seller. You always get to know your seller's needs before you think about even pricing it, because they may really be in a rush to sell because they need to get their kids into a different school, or maybe because, you know, they have a sick family member, who knows, but you guys need to figure out what their needs are first before doing anything. And the timing is wrong. Timing could be wrong. If someone says, I need to get my kid into school by September and it's August, you know, that's not probably gonna work. You know, if they say that I gotta sell my house before the end of the year because I'm gonna hit with taxes and it's December 15th, you know, that may not work. So you guys really need to understand what their timing really needs to be and be realistic about it, you know, because you guys know that no house is gonna sell that quickly unless you have a cash buyer who's willing to do no inspections, and that's really rare to come along. So please always make sure that you have all these things in your mind when you're dealing with their buyer or seller, because not everybody can be closed for one of these reasons. Okay. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about, the 5 types of buyers. You know, you guys know that. Maybe I won't go into the whole video, but maybe one of you guys wrote them down because I thought I was going to be able to revert back to them. One of the buyers that you're going to see is a buyer who'll just buy anything. The buyer who'll just like say, anything you show me, I'll buy. Just because you can close those people doesn't make you a good salesperson. It's the people who are looking for a product but are very picky and specific about it, who really need to have more information. Those are the ones that you should really hone your skills on, because those people can be easily converted as long as you provide enough value. You know, so that's the kind of buyers that you guys really should focus your main attention on, because the ones who will buy anything, yeah, thank God for them and thank God they exist. And the same thing applies with sellers. Sometimes you catch that expired listing on the first day and you're the first agent to call and they say yes over the phone, send me the paperwork, I'll sign it electronically. That happens every so often, but those aren't the ones you want to build your business on. You want to build your business on the ones that you actually have to work for and use your skills, because that means that you become a better salesperson. You can sell in any market, in any town, in any state in the country. So that's important for you guys. Did anybody write down the 5 types of buyers? You did? Jen, can you go over them?
The need buyer, the bargain hunter, the impulse buyer, the wanderer, and then the habitual/seasonal buyer.
Yeah, the first one was the need buyer, you said?
The need buyer.
Okay, so what is a need buyer?
They have like an immediate problem.
Yeah, immediate right now.
Immediate need, okay. Those are probably the ones that I said they'll buy. Okay. Now the second one was the what?
The bargain buyer.
The bargain buyer. We all love the bargain buyers, right? Right, like I want a $300,000 house for $200,000.
I have one now.
Or I want to sell my house and pay 3% commission. Like, you know, these are special people, and that's really where negotiating skills and tactics come into play. So this Wednesday, Tom is doing a training on negotiations. So anyone who is interested in finding out more information on how to deal with those kinds of people, you should definitely attend. Okay. Third buyer?
The impulse buyer.
Impulse buyer, who'll buy anything, right?
Yep.
Just on a whim. All right, those are great. You know, what can you say about them?
That's me.
That's you?
Twice.
And you know what? I'm going to say about impulse buyers is everyone in this room is an impulse buyer at one point or another.
Yeah.
If I've got, and I'm notorious for this, if I have like a special event that I have to go to and I will leave it till last minute to go find a shirt or something to wear that night, I'm just going to buy something fast. I'm not going to shop around in 10 different places and compare prices. So everyone could be an impulse buyer at one time, but you got to figure out, why is that person an impulse buyer? What are their needs? What are their necessities? What's making them an impulse buyer? Is it just that they were born that way, or is it they're just maybe very busy people? Busy people tend to be one of the biggest impulse buyers. What do you have next, number 4?
The wanderer.
The wanderer?
Yeah.
Explain.
The guy was in the mall and he was just basically, he left his wife and he goes, all right, I'm just going
He's
to go
bored
around and go and just kill time.
Out of boredom, he'll just buy something.
Nothing.
Yeah, sometimes you get those. Nowadays we wander on the internet and I find packages on my doorstep every day. So those are the wanderers. wanderers nowadays. That people just, you know, they have a little bit too much time on their hands maybe, or they just, in between, you know, appointments, they might just browse, or, you know, everybody has those moments. So, yeah, the wanderers are, how would I say, I don't know if they're a good group of people, because you won't, wanderers, maybe if you're selling a product that's $20, you know, that's the type of buyer you'd be looking for. But when it comes to real estate, it just takes more than a wanderer. It takes someone who actually wants that conviction to, motivated. Yes.
Isn't the wanderer that's gonna go like his mom did, go to this age
Oh my
that
God.
age?
Oh yeah, that's a wanderer too. Yeah, talk to your clients about sticking with you guys. That's important in the beginning. That's why you have that initial consultation, because you explain to them how you work. William, you should have had your mom sign the exclusive buyer's agreement.
Yes.
All right, number 5 was what?
And then it was the habitual / seasonal buyer.
Who will always buy something.
Yeah, they're always buying something because basically they just wanna revamp them, whether it's a car or a house.
Sure.
I want to sell in the spring.
I want to sell in the spring. Yeah, there's people who actually take advantage of the tax code and they live in a home for 2 years and they sell it every 2 years, which is cool, because if you did that in an up market, you could literally like scale your way into a mansion, you know, after like 3 or 4 flips. You know, if you guys don't understand how that works, any capital gains that's under $500,000, if you've lived in a home for 2 years, you don't have to pay any tax on it whatsoever. So if you bought a home for 100 and you sold it for 2, that extra 100 is tax free. You can roll that into your next home. You do it again with a $200,000 home to a $400,000 resale. You take that 200 and do it again. You can keep doing it again until you get your house of your dreams. All right, so that can be done pretty quickly. That's a habitual buyer for you guys who have never heard of that principle before. Habitual sellers, you could probably implement that with investors. Investors seem to keep properties for a certain amount of time in their books until they've used up all its economic life or their tax benefits, and then they sell those. So I'm not sure how much more I can implement that to a seller other than that. Okay. Anyone else want to add anything to this last segment that we just covered? Any experiences? Okay. All right. So if you guys don't have anything to add, I'm going to go over some of our announcements now. Anyone? Yes, Derek?
I actually had a question.
Sure.
About something that he said a couple of times. He said, when he talks about bad timing, I'm not sure if this is related to real estate, I don't think it is.
Okay.
He said, for example, when a company is in a buy-sell, what does that mean?
If a company is in a buy-sell?
Yeah.
So for instance, I'll explain to you maybe in a way you can understand a little bit more. So when a company sells its assets, kind of like an investor, so let's just say you had like 3 properties that you were under construction, and they finally all are done now, and you go to sell those properties. Now you're sitting on a ton of cash. Now you're in a buy cycle because you have to put that money back to work. Or if you're in a sell cycle, it's once your products are finally done, that's when you start selling. So there's cycles, and depending on what industry you're in, there's always going to be these cycles. Now, if you're in a buyer's market or a seller's market, we know what that means, right? In real estate, so that's a cycle for an industry, a whole industry. So does that clarify a little bit more for you?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So guys, if you don't have anything else to add, I'm going to cover our announcements. So one of the things that I want to start implementing is I'm going to form I think it's going to be a Hangouts group. I'm not sure who's going to want to be involved in it. I'm going to implement a Hangouts group on Google. I'm going to send an email out to everyone. What this is going to be for is a daily, short, 10 to 15 minute sales call every day, sales meeting. Okay, so you guys know that all sales institutions, all sales companies, they all have these sales meetings. I usually don't implement those. I've never seen anyone really implement those in a real estate company, but I want to because everyone kind of starts their day with excuses. A lot of people do. So instead of starting your day with excuses, I want to start days with accountability. So if anyone who tunes into that daily sales meeting is most likely going to do what they're supposed to do between 9 and 12. And that's all I ask, guys. If you do what you're supposed to do between 9 and 12, I don't care what you do for the rest of the day. You guys can have a family life. You guys can go do a second job. Whatever it is you got, if you can implement that, even if you can't do 9 to 12, you guys have maybe another job at that time. And you can say, all right, well, I started my day with the sales meeting, so it's fresh on my mind. As soon as I get out of work at 5, I'm going to do what I got to do. It doesn't matter. As long as you guys jump on that sales call, you guys will at least state what your accountability items are for that day. So if we have like 5 people on the call, 10 people on the call, everyone's going to say, who's here today? You know, we have Derek's present, Lewis is present, so on is present. Okay, what are you doing today, Derek? Today I'm going to make 100 phone calls. Today I'm going to do an hour of follow-up. Today I'm not going to let anyone bother me during these hours. Today I'm going to go and follow up with this person who said they wanted to list their house. All right, Derek, get to it. Now, next person, bang. So everyone states what they're going to do that day, and you start to get motivation. You start to get a little, synergy from everyone else, and then that'll lead to you having more likelihood of having a productive day. Okay, so I'm going to send out to everyone. And it's going to be short. You know, it doesn't necessarily need you to be here. It's better if you're in the office, you get more done, I feel, but if you can't, that's okay. All right, next thing I want to talk to you guys is that this Friday, the 15th, we're going to have our next phone blitz. So for those of you watching it or here that don't know what the phone blitz is, that's the day when we all jump on the calls. Right? We all start making our calls. We call buyers, sellers, investors. We call everyone as much as possible for 3 hours, 9 to 12. Is that 3 hours? 9 to... That's this Friday at 9 a.m. Please be on time. Please make sure you have your list ready to go before you come here, because I get inundated with people who will say, who do I call? You know, or how do I use Mojo? You know, like, that's not what I want to hear the day of, guys. The day of is not to learn. The day of is to start taking action, okay? So if you guys don't know how to use Mojo and plan to use your Mojo for the first time that day, you know, sit with Petros for a few minutes and he'll show you how to use it. If you don't have a list, please let Joali or myself know what kind of list you're looking for. It may be just, you know, right under your nose and you guys don't know it, or it might, if you want a custom list, make sure you send that request to us before Friday, not on Friday. All right, so that's Friday at 9 o'clock. Next thing is, who here has heard of .loop? How many people have used .loop? Anyone used .loop before? Okay, .loop is a software that people use in a lot of real estate companies. A lot of the bigger real estate companies use this. It's a system where you can prepare all your real estate documentation, all your contracts and listings and those types of things. But better than that, it also keeps all parties involved into the transaction and actually walks the transaction through for you. So it's really, really great. I've been kind of dodging them for so long.
I'm sorry. Is that kind of like that Track with Ease?
Kind of, yeah,
Okay.
kind of in a way.
That's what I was thinking.
So, but it's more specialized, geared towards just real estate, right? So I've been dodging them for a while because I've been working on something proprietary for the office, but it's taken way too long. And I have too many agents coming on board who are used to using .loop, and other agents who I know from other offices who are just raving how great it is. So I'm gonna, you know, bite the bullet, even if it's for the time being. We're gonna grab .loop. Everyone here is going to benefit from it. I guarantee you, it's gonna save you time and energy, and it's gonna make your colleagues from other offices really take, you know, how would I say? They're gonna look at you in a different light. You know, you're gonna use great technology, and I'm always bragging how good we are with technology. So I couldn't wait any longer to get this for you guys. So that's gonna be rolled out pretty soon. I have a call with them this week. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is a system called Cold Data or Cold Realty. Not sure if you guys have ever heard of that. They have like a little widget in Conversion where you can try to look for a phone number. It doesn't work that well in Conversion, but they are good at one thing that we don't have right now, and that is neighborhood searches. So for instance, let's say you have an open house and you want to call everybody in that neighborhood. It'll give you the phone numbers to everyone in that neighborhood so you can call them. The data's pretty accurate. If you want to start becoming the agent in a certain town, you can literally download information street to street to street to street and just call. Joe Colella's been using this for the last month or so. He's been beta testing it. He said it's incredible. So we're going to grab that because we have Land Voice, but if you guys know, Land Voice gives you expires and for sale by owners, right? They have a local search, but it's not that good. Mojo has a local search, it's not that good. But Cold Data, for what I'm hearing from Joe Colella, who got, I think, like 4 or 5 listings last month in Middlesex County, it's working. It does work. So we're going to grab that for the office, and you guys can use that in conjunction with Land Voice. And then we always have our go-to system where we can get custom data. You guys know we have the Lexus system, so that's the third way you guys can get your data. What's up, bro?
I use that around my listing in Elizabeth, and I already had 2 listing appointments.
Cold Data?
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
You used it from Joe?
Yeah, he downloaded for me like the 500 around my listing.
Yeah.
And then today I had 2 more listings appointments. I mean,
Look at
not close yet, but it's getting closer.
Look at that. That's incredible. Jen?
Every morning I listen to Tom Ferry, and he
Yep.
actually was saying about this call data, and he was saying how basically like you're able to get everybody in that area, and I'm saying to myself, how do I get it? And now here I am today.
No, we got it.
We got it.
Yeah, I have no problem investing in you
Awesome.
guys as long as it makes sense. So here's my challenge for you guys. I want you guys to flood Scotch Plains. We have no visibility whatsoever in Scotch Plains, guys. We're the biggest real estate company in Scotch Plains, and with Plainfield, and we have maybe 1 or 2 listings in Scotch Plains. That is really shameful, and I'll take the blame for it. But now, guys, we're gonna have Cold Data. If you guys want to start carving this town up, like, please, you guys can easily call up and say, we are the largest real estate company in Scotch Plains. how far do you think that'll go with a seller in Scotch Plains, guys? That's just like fishing in a barrel, but we just have to let them know. We're doing what we can on our side with marketing and media, you know, that's one piece of it. You know, you guys can use that as leverage as well, like have you seen our business highlights, you know, where the biggest, where whatever, you know, you guys can start using it. So I really want you guys to start utilizing it for that, okay? Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is I'm going to be implementing a new schedule for myself. This is really, really exciting for me, and it will be for you guys as well, because it'll allow me to give you guys more innovation for the office. As you guys know, I work 6 days a week, you know, non-stop here, and it rarely leaves any time for me to do anything that is visionary for the office, because I'm always constantly like either listening to this person's, you know, issue, that fire I gotta put out, you know, this, everything. You guys know how it is, you know, you always get bombarded with stuff. So I'm gonna start taking, as of this week, I'm gonna start taking 2 days out of the office per week, so I can start working on bigger things for culture and not just like sitting with agents all day long, okay? Now, I will be here all day, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and Saturdays I'll play by ear. Most likely I'll be here Saturdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays I will be out of the office. I will still be accessible, phone calls, emails if you guys need me to, if you need anything. It's not that I'm disappearing or going somewhere else, but I do want to start putting a lot more things into play, and I can't do that sitting here. I've tried, guys. I've tried. Believe me, I've put 7 o'clock and after every day is my personal time. It never happens. I try, and this is the only way I'm going to be able to do it. So the last couple weeks I've been to these seminars where I've picked up so many great ideas and so many great products that I will never be able to put into play for you guys if I don't get out of the office. So just letting you guys know, please don't take it as a surprise if you don't see me here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will be a phone call away if you need me at an undisclosed location. You guys can follow me, I'm sure. All right, what else? Wednesday night, Tom, dialogue, you guys should be there. Please, I'm gonna send out an email reminding you guys. And anyone who doesn't know this yet, the board is implementing no more lock boxes, physical lock boxes. What I call them lock boxes, but they're super keys, right? You guys know what a super key is? Everybody knows? The board is phasing that out. So I know a lot of you guys have it on your phone, right?
Yep.
But keep in mind, if you're not a member of a different MLS, you can't take your phone and go to show a house in a different MLS. So that leaves us to be able, at the office now in a little bit of a predicament. So we're going to obviously have to convert as well. So you guys, if you are doing a lot of business in another county, just think about getting that MLS, because it's going to be, you know, a little bit of a hassle for you guys now, because obviously, you know, it has to be on your phone. So we're going to try to come up with a solution. I can't guarantee anything yet. We haven't tried it yet, but just keep in mind, as of this week, we're not going to have the super key anymore, okay? So if you guys don't have it, you don't even have it for Garden State, at least get it for Garden State for now, okay? How much is it, Jen, a month? $14?
15.
15 bucks a month?
$14.99 a month.
You have to pay $50 upright, and then it's 15 a month, which is like nothing.
Okay, all right. So that'll give you guys access. You never have to drive here, pick up the lockbox again, don't do a key, super key again.
And it's super easy to use.
Yeah, it's really easy to use, guys, but the only problem comes when you're going to show a home outside of the Garden State, okay? We're working on a solution for that for you guys, all right? But I just can't disclose that right now. Okay. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is we're involved. We've been involved the last few months with the Lions Club, the Portuguese Lions Club out of Elizabeth. We're having a fundraising dinner on the 23rd of this month. It's $60 for anyone who wants to attend. There'll be a lot of great people in attendance. It's a good place for you guys to network. Not sure if anybody here has ever attended any one of the Lions Club meetings, but they raise money for a lot of good causes. Recently, we were able to deliver food to the not the homeless, but to people in need. We also,
The senior center?
The senior center. You know, it's a lot of great things they do. So it's through events like this that they're able to do these things. So you get a nice dinner, you get to network, and you get to donate, you know, to a good cause. So that's going to be on the 23rd of this month. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is a gala that Greenworks Elizabeth is doing on the 27th of this month. This is, for those of you guys who weren't present, Elizabeth Groundworks, they create, how would I say, they want to bring urban farming into the culture, into like different communities, but for them in Elizabeth. So what that does is it teaches, you know, young kids about, you know, farming, about the importance of, you know, vegetables. He told me a story one day that the kid didn't know what a cucumber was when he pulled it out. I was like, what is that? Like, didn't even know. So through their initiative, they've been able to put in community farming centers in Elizabeth, and we helped them not too long ago with one behind the library in Elizabeth. Really great event, really great people. So if anyone's interested in donating to that, there will be a gala, which is $125 to attend. Anyone who wants to go, Culture Estate will be getting a recognition that night for our efforts in helping them. So that's a cool thing. That's going to be on the 27th of this month at 6 p.m. Anyone who's interested in going to that. Anything else that anyone would like to make us aware of? I'm probably forgetting some things, but I'll send out an email if I remember anything else.
I think there's two, what's that thing you guys doing? Oh my god, I just went blank. Seminars.
Oh, you guys have one coming up?
There's one on the 16th for me.
Oh, okay, the 16th?
Yep.
For the first time
is it
buyer.
Harry? Yeah.
The February 26th.
And the 26th.
Oh, yeah, first time buyer seminar.
What times for you ladies?
6 p.m.
6
I
p.m.?
think ours on the 16th at 11
At 11 a.m.?
on a Saturday.
It's a Saturday?
Yep, this Saturday.
This Saturday, okay, good. All right, so for those of you guys who didn't hear, if you guys want to attend Sophie's first-time home buyer seminar, or if you have any buyers that you're working with who are kind of like lost in the process or not ready to buy yet, send them in here on the 16th or the 26th. Harry's doing one as well. Sophie's is on a Saturday for anyone who can't make it during a weekday at 11 a.m. on the 16th. And Harry's is going to be on the 26th at 6 p.m. Right here in the office. So if anyone, and please guys, if you guys make any events on Facebook, please share it with us so we can share it amongst our community as well. All right, I think we're just about ready for our breakout. Let's just say our prayer and then we can get out of here. Oh yeah, 12:02.
Good job.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, just let's for about a minute or so, let's just close our eyes and just meditate on nothing, just our breath, and then we can thank God for everything we have. But let's just start with a little bit of just relaxation time and just be mindful and conscious of everything that you're grateful for, and then we'll say our prayer. Okay? Just all right, now I'm just going to say a quick prayer and close out. And dear Lord, we thank you, like we always do, for having us together, which we can't take for granted because we know that every day of our lives is a gift. We thank you for abundant health, and we thank you for all the blessings. I've learned that having blessings in your life means that you have more than what you need. So allow us as good people and as good just followers of your faith to be able to be more generous with others and just to give what we have. Allow us to every day just become better versions of ourselves. Please forgive us for all the wrongdoings that we've done, because as you know, we're not perfect, and every day we strive to just become better people. I ask you to always bless us with patience and with the virtue of being able to be selfless. We ask you to bless anyone who hasn't been here with us and who needs a prayer, and everyone in this room who needs your guidance as well. We thank you for everything in our lives, and we thank you for all the lessons you've taught us. We thank you for all the experiences, and we just ask you to follow us and be with us every day of our lives. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.